Now we're joined by Joel Trachtman. He's a professor of international law at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University. You know, Joel, I think we better start with this meeting between Abe and Xi. I mean, what do you make of that? President Xi has now accepted a state visit to Japan. Prime Minister Abe is talking about a new age of relations between China and Japan, which has not always been easy, as you know. What do you make of it all?
Well, China has reduced its tariffs on goods from a number of other countries, from all other countries besides the United States. And so that provides opportunities for Japanese companies. And as you know, when President Trump took office, he pulled the United States out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have provided, most importantly, zero tariffs between the United States and Japan. And so Japan's looking for other partners, and China has a strategy of reaching out to other countries for supplies and for markets.
But could you just speak to the fact that it hasn't always been so, has it? The relationship has, in recent history, been quite frosty, and that appears to be changing.
Well, the security relationship has been frosty, as you say, with territorial disputes. But the United States has now really challenged both countries from a trade standpoint. And President Trump, a few days ago, said that he wasn't sure why the United States should be in a treaty of defense with Japan. That's really a big change and something that probably isn't supported anywhere else in the United States.
Yes, I think he said something like, if America was attacked, then the Japanese would be able to watch it on a Sony TV, he said, and they wouldn't have to actually do anything. Whereas if Japan is attacked, the United States is obligated to help out. Let's move on, though, because President Trump has been tweeting about some of these world leaders, including those he's met today, including Prime Minister Modi of India. What do you think about those tweets going into this summit? Because we saw that in Argentina, and in Argentina, it all went wrong, didn't it, regarding the China trade deal? It all fell apart, even though they had a steak dinner together.
Well, they had a steak dinner, and they said that they would reach agreement within 90 days, and that was extended, and it got close. In May, they were, I think, the United States had an agreement that it was satisfied with, and then Xi Jinping found things that he was concerned about in that agreement. But with India, you know, it's interesting that the United States is starting a fight with India, removing generalized system of preferences benefits from India, and otherwise antagonizing India instead of working with India while it's involved in this trade war with China.
And do you think that we're going to get a trade deal when the two sit down and meet face to face, or is it, as I know many analysts think, going to be a deal to go on talking? There's a big difference there.
Oh, I think it almost is certain that it will be a deal to go on talking. The one suggestion that it might be a final deal is that, remember, as I said, in May, they had a deal. There were concerns about some of the changes in Chinese law that were required, the fact that the deal wasn't truly bilateral. It put more obligations on China than on the United States, the idea that the enforcement mechanisms were rather one-sided. So there were concerns, but everything was negotiated at least the Liu He, Robert Lighthizer level.
Right.
And then it was rejected. So it could be that some tweaks are made to that agreement, some cosmetic changes, and maybe some more substantive changes are made, and they sign that. But I think the more likely thing is that they kick the can down the road and say, we'll give it another 90 days, or perhaps if Trump is wiser, he would say, we'll negotiate indefinitely, because I think he speaks as though he's ready to put on more tariffs and it doesn't matter to him. But I think that's just a negotiation ploy. I think if he adds tariffs to the last of the imports from China, I think that will be very destructive to the United States economy, and a number of U.S. businesses and people in Congress are concerned about that.
Yes. Well, in 24 hours from now, we will know, won't we? So we'll leave it there for now. Joel, thank you very much. So.